Tonight, one of the deadliest wildfires in Los Angeles history.
As the world watched in horror as the Palisades Fire burned, victims perished in the smoke and flames.
Now linked back to a man in Central Florida. An Uber driver investigators claim had a dangerous obsession.
Evil people do evil things.
Our live team coverage on the arson arrest starts right now.
This is WFTV Tonight.
The Department of Justice says this trail of destruction and death started with a 29-year-old man from Melbourne, Florida, in Brevard County, right here in our area. Good evening. I'm Greg Wormuth. Investigators say Jonathan Rinderknecht was working as an Uber driver on New Year's Eve, and just after midnight, he hiked to the top of a ridge in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood and intentionally set a fire. It ultimately killed 12 people, damaged 8,000 structures, and burned more than 23,000 acres. Rinderknecht appeared today in federal court in Orlando in Orange County and told the judge he is not mentally ill. He has another hearing, which will be at tomorrow morning, also in federal court. We have live team coverage. Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb is in Melbourne with the suspect's history and what neighbors are saying about this man. But we begin with Channel 9's Giovanni Diaz with the latest on this impressive investigation.
Yeah, Greg, and as I was working on this report tonight, I read through the court documents we obtained, and the number of items collected as evidence is really impressive. 13,000 items. Those included 911 calls, GPS locations, and also these pictures generated by AI showing here what appears to be a city engulfed in flames.
We made a promise to find answers.
And that promise ended with the arrest of this man, 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht. He's accused of igniting one of the worst wildfires in the history of the state of California.
Geolocation data for the 911 calls showed that he was standing above the fire in a clearing merely 30 feet from the blaze.
The flames started on New Year's Day when Rinderknecht was on a hiking trail in the Santa Monica Mountains, according to investigators. That later turning into the Palisades Fire, killing 12 people, destroying almost 7,000 homes and businesses, and damaging more than 1,000 buildings. Rinderknecht is from Melbourne, but according to investigators, he was staying in California for some time.
We collected more than 13,000 items of evidence.
He was generating some really concerning images up on ChatGPT, which appears to show a dystopian city being burnt down.
Court documents obtained by Channel 9 also show Rinderknecht listen to this rap song about 9 times in the days before the incident. The lyrics, translated from French, talk about setting things on fire. Before the judge on Wednesday, Rinderknecht said he was not struggling with any mental health issues. Right now, the man faces federal charges of destruction of property by means of fire. But as the case moves forward, that could change.
The U.S. attorney will proceed to a grand jury proceeding where he will be indicted, at the very least, for first-degree arson.
And Rinderknecht is expected to be back here in federal court tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Orlando, I'm Giovanni Diaz, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, Gio, thank you. And of course, we'll be in court as well. Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb continues our team coverage in Melbourne, where the suspect was arrested yesterday. Ashlyn, we know from authorities today that he lived near Pacific Palisades for a while, where he was an Uber driver. In fact, that night he had dropped off a couple of rides. But sometime this year, you have learned he moved back to Brevard County.
Exactly, and we're still piecing together the timeline of exactly how long he was in California before he moved back here to Melbourne with his family. But we know he's been in Brevard County at least since August because we found 2 traffic tickets. In both cases, he lists this property in behind me as his home. Traffic tickets from August and September show Jonathan Rinderknecht was back in the Melbourne area, listing an address on Alligator Flag Circle in Melbourne as his home. Neighbors here say sometime last week they saw several members of law enforcement at this house, but they never would have imagined officers were investigating their next-door neighbor as a suspect in the Palisades fire that happened on the other side of the country.
I was never expecting something like this, especially like only 4 houses away from me. I'm right over here on the other side.
It's really upsetting. something that disastrous that impacted that many people and the environment happened, and it's like my neighbor.
Several neighbors say they recognized Rinderknecht's face as soon as his mugshot was shared. Many say they passed by him in the neighborhood, but he kept to himself.
I've said hello to the man many times, and he would just ignore me, never friendly at all.
We know that Rinderknecht was born in Indiana. He told authorities he grew up in France. And sometime later, we know him and some members of his family moved to Brevard County. In 2016, he registered as a voter, listing this house on Delmar Circle, a home that's owned by a couple with the same last name, but is now up for sale. We went to both homes, but no one answered. Now, other than those 2 traffic tickets, he is not known to law enforcement, at least in Brevard County, according to the sheriff's office. Reporting in Brevard County, Ashlyn Webb, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.